So remember back in my Made to Express commentary where the man in question played a clip of a guy named Gary Habermas being interviewed on a channel called Capturing Christianity? Well, I decided to watch the entire interview, and there's one part in particular that caught my attention because it really shows just how nonsensical the claims Habermas makes actually are. I should also note the section of the interview where the clip I'm about to show you comes from was also clipped and uploaded to YouTube separately, so if you want to check to make sure I'm not taking things out of context, you can either watch the full interview or that 6-minute clip.
And if you pushed him a little bit and said, well, what keeps you from believing this stuff yourself?
Can I guess?
So good. Go ahead.
Hume.
Well, Hume, but I think generally they'll say, I just don't want to believe.
Really?
And they will say miracles don't happen, and that say that they know you're ready. They don't often want to take you on. Another comment is, yeah, but you got a problem with your theory. What's that? Well, you got some data for your theory, and I'm not exactly sure where I would go to refute it. But you're asking me, implicit in your argument, is you're asking me to believe in Middle Earth, Narnia, or if you want a secular example, Oz. You're asking me to believe in that. And there's no world like that. How do you know? Well, there's no, look at everything we know from empirical science. There's not an ultimate universe. And when I'm talking to a person like that, I always go, time out. Let's talk about near-death experiences. And because the evidence has been coming in so well, in a recent book, up to 30 million people in North America, England, and Europe have claimed to have near-death experiences. So I could say, hey, let's just say the number's blown up too much and there's only 20 million. In a way, that's 20 million people who've been to Narnia, if you want to look at it that way. So don't tell me there's no empirical evidence for this. And they'll say, yeah, those are just experiences. You don't have data. Well, you don't say that to me. I just gave a paper yesterday. I know of 300 evidenced NDE accounts where what's reported is empirically verified. So if you can't refute it, and it's almost impossible to refute the NDEs, if you can't refute them and you have this alternate reality, in what category? In the category of afterlife. Oh, so there may be an afterlife. Well, I didn't think so until today, but yeah, I guess maybe there is. Okay, now can we talk about resurrection? See, because I've opened the door to talk about this alternate reality, which may last forever, and you can't say anymore, yeah, but you're asking me to believe in Oz, because I would say, I sure am, and I've got data for Oz.
I've listened to this about 5 times over the past 2 days, and I bluntly have no idea what the argument is supposed to be. I think he's trying to say that near-death experiences inherently prove that there's an afterlife because of how common they are, and therefore if there's an afterlife, a resurrection becomes possible. However, even on the surface, there are a couple of issues with this. For one, a near-death experience wouldn't be evidence of an afterlife because you aren't actually afterlife in a near-death experience. You're close to that point, but you aren't actually at it. This would be like me saying I know what's in a room because I stood behind the door I could use to enter it. Not that I actually went into the room or even opened the door, but that I got pretty close to the door. Furthermore, this still wouldn't mean a resurrection is possible. At least not inherently, given that would imply some way to cross over the afterlife and the non-afterlife, which you again just haven't proven. It should be noted, by the way, that there are several atheists who have said that an afterlife is possible, even if they don't believe it's the one that is proposed to us by any of the religions that exist. One example that comes to mind is David Stamm's 2009 book, The Atheist Afterlife, The Odds of an Afterlife Reasonable, The Odds of Meeting God They're Nil, which proposes essentially that an afterlife would actually be closer to a dream state as opposed to the common conception of ideas like heaven. I also want to address his point about how so many people have had near-death experiences, because even then, thousands of people, hell, millions of people, can claim to have seen something, and still the thing they thought they saw wasn't real. In 2015, thousands of people in China reported seeing a city in the clouds all at the same time. However, this does not mean that city actually existed. when this was looked into by scientists, they found it to be nothing more than a mirage. Humans hallucinate. This is why science is so focused on figuring out how things occur, not just determining if they occurred or not.